I feel like, do not misinterpret God's gift because you don't like the sender. Do not misinterpret God's gift because you don't like the package. Do not misinterpret God's gift because you don't like the person he sent to deliver it. Like, God's trying to tell me something. So we are gonna call this era Fired and Flourishing, babe. Hey Blossoms, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lauren and I create lifestyle and wellness content for flourishing blossoms just like you. So today is August 19th. I got fired on August 14th. And this really is not a video about how or why I got fired. But if you want to know, just comment down below and I will definitely let you know. But for the most part, it gave like, it ain't nothing to cut that bitch up. And the remix too, like snip, snip, oh, snip, snip, oh. It ain't nothing to cut that bitch up. That's pretty much what it gave. But yeah, it was just really a moment that reinforced everything that this company had been telling me, which was that I was undervalued and replaceable in my job, not to mention being overworked and underpaid. But during the moment that I was fired, something miraculous happened, and that's really what I want to talk about in this video. In order to do that, I kind of have to give you some background, right? So I knew I was getting fired, and of course you try to be hopeful and you try to, you know. So I prayed and I just asked God, I put my hands on the steering wheel and I said, God, whatever happens, I pray that you allow it to be your will and your way and allow me to receive it with ease and with class and grace. And I said, thank you for what you've done and what you're doing. I said, amen. That was the end of the prayer. And that's really important. And I'll tell you guys why later. So I went in and my boss is doing her termination spiel. And I promise you guys, in that moment, one, I felt the biggest weight lifted off of me. Like, I felt like I could breathe. And her voice started to get like farther and farther away from me. And I just started seeing these visions. Like, I started seeing myself on these trips. I started seeing myself at events, like meeting people. And then I saw myself making this video. And it was like, vision, 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 vision. And then she stops. And in that moment, I had a really big choice to make. And I took a big deep breath and I said, thank you. And I walked out and I was giggling. And I can now reflect back and recognize I was giggling because my best self, my highest self, had aligned with me in that moment. And even though I didn't know in the moment why all I could say was thank you, she did. And she received it as a gift. And she knew that my boss firing me was receiving one of the biggest gifts that I've received to this date. And so I think that my highest self was happy and giddy, and all that energy, the creative energy that I had stuffed down by being so wrapped up in my job, it was coming out. And I think that that version of myself, like I said, aligned with me and was just so excited. I took a deep breath and I scanned my brain because it was so baffling. Like, I could have said more. I won't even say I should have, because I should have done exactly what I did, but I could have said so many things more. And I think they were waiting on me too, because I said thank you. And both of my bosses were just looking so awkwardly at me. And I just like laughed and I walked out and I said thank you again and I left. And in that moment, I truly, truly feel that I jumped timelines. And for those people who are not super familiar with quantum jumping and manifesting and scripting, things like that, all that I'm saying is that in that crossroads, I had an opportunity to make a few different decisions like we always do, right? But I made the decision that was most in line with my highest self. And so for that moment, we were able to become one. And I could feel her in me and vice versa. And to me, that was where I jumped into the timeline of my greatest good, because I very well could have crashed out. I could have crashed completely out. If y'all knew, and for those watching who actually know, y'all know, okay? But I didn't. I handled it very well with grace and ease. I was really able to grab hands with the version of me who already knew that that was a gift. Because I didn't recognize it as a gift. It took me until like the next night when I was talking to my friends about it. But I was so confused too, because I was like, I want to say more, but like nothing is coming. It's like something was like girl, get out of this office. So the video is not about the firing. It's really about that moment when I aligned with my highest self. This is about realigning with what feeds your soul and what truly makes you happy. Because over the last year and a half, really since the last time you guys saw me be consistent on YouTube, I had become so unintentional in my life that I unconsciously made my job an idol. My life revolved around my job. You know, I wake up, and where I normally would wake up and say, thank you, God, I'm waking up and being like, oh, what client has this due? What treatment plan? What group am I running? What happened over at last night with my clients, you know? And that's not something that I wanted to do. It just, like I said, it's unconsciously became an idol in my life. The same night I was fired, I recognized that I had traded my purpose for a paycheck. And I was clinging on to pennies, forgetting that God has millions in store for me. I truly have spent like the better part of the last year and a half believing that my purpose was solely intertwined in what I was doing in my job. And that was so unintentional. I was not living intentionally. And I think, remember I said the prayer was important? That was the first time in a while that I intentionally was like, God, let me make some space for you. Let me make some time to allow you to come in and be, just let me be a vessel. You know, you speak through me. And that's how I felt. That's how I felt, because Lauren would have said a lot more things. Since then, I've re-recognized the importance of intentionality in my life. And that's what I want you guys to mainly get from this video. And a big part of understanding that is for me to kind of let you guys know some of the ways that I know that I'm in the right spot. Like for me, this situation came with a lot of hindsight really, really fast. And so yesterday I was in the library and I just journaled about all of the little signs that like I was supposed to be fired. And so I will let you guys watch that part of the video because I think that that's really important too. Encourage yourself to like be aware of the signs, be aware of the little intuitions in your head, be aware of the things that come up that might be trying to show you something, because they likely do mean something. Moving into this next chapter of my life, I really want to live with a lot of attention to detail, attention to God's voice. And so this part of the video is just me recognizing all of those little ways that God has showed up along the way to prove to me that I am in the right spot. It's like being fired in the moment, it's like, oh. But in hindsight, I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and there have been so many signs leading up into that moment that showed me like I'm exactly where I need to be. So that's kind of what I was journaling about. So this is what it looks like, and at the top I just wrote down like everything is working for my good. So on August 14th, I was fired. 814 signifies that your hard work and determination are aligning with your higher purpose and that your angels are guiding you towards success and abundance. 814 could also be symbolic of encouraging you to have faith and belief in yourself and your own ideas. To give you guys some background, the entire year I have been hard on myself, feeling like I made the wrong decision in my career field, not feeling like my career has been giving me enough leeway or leverage to step into my purpose. And I genuinely had this belief that I made the wrong decision, I made the wrong choice. And this year I really held on to that belief of like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And so the fact that I lost my job on the 14th is so important to me. I know that not everybody's into numerology or angel numbers, but I know that God is trying to show me that there is meaning behind everything. The weeks leading up to my termination, I have been getting so many content ideas, and not just content like social media content, but events that I want to run, products that I'm interested in creating. And I was feeling so unmotivated and discouraged because I'm like, how can I do this? I'm writing treatment plans, I'm maintaining my caseload, I'm running groups, I'm stressed just because of the general trauma that comes with working in rehab. How can I do this? Feeling like there's no way, feeling so defeated because my current circumstance was never going to allow me to do those things that I knew God was placing in my mind. Another one, my daily prayer for months has been specifically, God, help me to keep my eyes on you. While simultaneously, when I wake up from that prayer, when I get out of my meditative state, I'm focusing only on work. Literally waking up in the morning, checking my email, checking Teams. So I'm praying constantly. God, help me to keep my eyes focused on you. Help me to release control and allow you to steer my ship and anchor me when I need to. After I was fired, literally within the hour after me being fired, of course I tell everybody, I was offered a job within the first hour of me being fired. Within the first like 12 or 16 hours, I found this gift card that has to be at least a year old, because I was going through my books, cleaning up and organizing, and I found it as like a bookmark in this really old book, and I looked it up, and there's money on the card, girl. There's $17.71 on the card. I took that as another opportunity to be intentional and look up what it meant. 1771 signifies positive change, new beginnings, and spiritual growth. Hey man, I'm not saying God fired me from that job, but I'm pretty sure God fired me from that job. Another thing that I know I didn't mention yesterday in that video was my family was here the day that I got fired. And if you know, I live in Florida. My entire family lives in Illinois, besides my grandpa. And so they only come down once a year, normally around Thanksgiving. They just happen to be here for a cruise for their friend's anniversary. Like, don't you find that suspicious? Like, there is the victim mindset, there's the ego that tells me, I just got fired, how could this be happening to me? All bad things happen to me. Then there is the centered side of me, the higher version of myself, who recognizes I just got fired and I have my community there. I just got fired, I have my tribe there. Not only were my parents in town, so I got to be fired and go to dinner and go to the beach with them, but also that next day I was hosting a girls' night. So my girls were here, we were wearing matching muumuus, we went to a fancy dinner together. I got to give my friends gifts, which is the greatest feeling of love and joy ever. Right? I got to be fired and share all of my vulnerable emotions and feelings at a dinner table with my friends right away. And if you're an adult, you know you don't see your friends like that. So what are the odds? I see my friends once a month. You mean to tell me that our pre-planned sleepover was the day after I got fired? Come on. God showed me right away that my tribe has me. He showed me right away that I'm held and I'm kept and I'm not alone in this experience. Like, it has been too many signs for comfort. Like, literally the day I got fired, something told me, fix your resume. I fixed my resume at lunch, applied to a job at lunch that same day I got fired. Don't you find that suspicious? Like, God already planted the seed. I knew, my intuition knew something was happening. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I knew I was gonna get fired and I handled it like so well. I didn't know I was gonna get fired. I knew I wanted to leave the job earlier than I had in my original timeline. And God said, no, you absolutely cannot be in this environment anymore. So we are gonna call this era Fired and Flourishing, babe. Fired and Flourishing. I hope I'm not too close. Let me get closer. I feel like I'm far. Hey, Blossoms. I'm trying to tell y'all, I don't have a job anymore. I'm so happy to be here. This is the 3rd August that I have experienced job instability in a row. 2023, I had a series on my channel called Jobless, not Directionless. I think there's about 2 videos where I quit my job. 2024, I ended up having to quit my job after some big turmoil, really me being devalued, and very similar situations here. And 2025, I'm fired. So God is being very intentional. You guys know that my birthday is in August, and it feels like definitely last year God was giving me this same gift, but I was not in the space to receive it as a gift at that time. So I rushed and did what I had to do to get a job, because I thought that that's what he was asking me to do right away, was just find another job. Looking back at last year specifically, I recognize now that I thought that the destination, that the desire was in the job. And that's what I mean when I say I was idolizing having a job. Whereas this time I was fired and I immediately prayed. I prayed before I was fired, prayed right after I was fired. I thank God, I rejoiced. Last time I was fired and I hid, I shied away from God because I thought I had let him down. I thought I was off of the path. I thought I did something wrong. I didn't know who I was. And in order to fill that void, I just went straight to like, get a job, get a job. That's what I need to do. That's what's gonna put me in line with my purpose, is working. Oh brother, you know, looking back in hindsight, oh brother. but I understand that I did what I could with what I had, with what I thought was right. But I'm just saying all this to say that God has, this is not the first time. It's just been the first time that I'm receiving it well. 2024 really brought me to my knees. Of course it did. Like, I was working underneath somebody who told me I was insubordinate, not valuable, not right for the environment. Like, of course, those are very harsh words to hear and be like, oh, this is a gift from God. I didn't receive it as a gift. And I think a lot of times we misinterpret God's gifts because we don't like how it looks. And I feel like, do not misinterpret God's gift because you don't like the sender. Do not misinterpret God's gift because you don't like the package. Do not misinterpret God's gift because you don't like the person he sent to deliver it. Like, God's trying to tell me something, whether that's an ex breaking up with you, whether that's a friend telling you XYZ about you, whether it's you getting fired from your job. God is moving. If you're praying, if you're staying consistent with your manifestations, your desires for yourself, you have a strong connection with your higher power, then be very careful about misinterpreting the gifts that the universe is giving you because you don't like the way it looks. You know, like, I don't like being fired, but it was the feeling. I felt this, like a weighted blanket off me. Get off me. Like, that's something, that's a gift. And I'm so grateful to be able to have this quick turnaround in mindset. It happened, honestly, instantaneously. I knew my family was like, oh, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel your feelings. And of course I cried, but I wasn't crying that bad. It's my birthday month. Like, I was not crying that bad. And it's because God handed me a gift. What I was supposed to say, take it back, I don't want to work. No, you say, thank you, God, that you have found me deserving enough. I'm honored to receive this. I'm honored to be in a position where I can receive it with grace, because not everybody is. Not everybody would be in a position to receive it. So I wasn't in a position to receive it last year when I was forced to quit my job. I was dang near fired last year, honestly. If I hadn't quit, that lady was trying to fire me. So it's like, I didn't see it as a gift then. And I'm so grateful that I see it as a gift. And I hope I can encourage you to reassess your idea of failures or your ideas of being misaligned and see, like, maybe God's trying to tell me something. I am more than grateful to serve a God who is changing situations in my favor, even when I do not have the awareness to recognize it. Because that's what God is doing. We don't understand it. And this is so cliche. We don't know what's going on. We don't understand it. But it's working. It's working. It's working. It's working. And I'm just glad that I could understand it. There's so many times in life where God was doing stuff and I was just brought to my knees. I was floored. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand. But I see it. And when you recognize it as a gift, oh, that's powerful. It's like the best. I feel the best I have in a very long time, you guys. Like, I had convinced myself truly that I was just putting my head down in survival mode, going. And it wasn't where I needed to be. So I kind of want to read from my journal, because it's hard when you're just like speaking to the camera and you're trying to, like, it's not coming out as eloquent as I would like for it to come out. So I'm gonna read to you guys some pieces of my journal to kind of give you some more insight on what's really been going on in my head in the last few days. To my gift giver, my everything, I'm beginning to hear you better, louder and more clear. It's obvious to me now that you have called me to do something greater than I could have ever imagined. When you started bringing me these visions, I thought it was up to me to make them happen. But I see now that you've been showing me that it's already done, and there's no amount of planning, controlling, or organizing that I can do, because it's greater than human understanding. Last year when you tried to give me this gift, I misinterpreted it. Sight of the vision. Not just lost sight of the vision, but decided it was okay if the vision no longer was for me. So you blessed me, knowing I would have never quit that job, knowing I would have always put up with anything. So thank you for it all. There's no amount of gratitude or no amount of words that could express my gratitude for that. Thank you for every experience. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the ability to use your words to heal others. The chance to create friendships with my coworkers. Thank you, God. Thank you, everything. I want to be closer than ever with God. I I know that in the past I have created a closeness with God that has disappeared once I gained whatever worldly accomplishment I wanted at the time. I need my life to be centered around Christ in all ways. I don't want to work with God to lead me to the life I desire. I want the life I desire to be attracted to me because of my consistent pursuit of love, healing, community, peace, God. There's no amount of prayer that says, okay, it's fine to stop praying. I want my life habits, my routines to be all centered around God's love. I know that everything else will fall into place. To me, that last part is really important because I'm not using my relationship with God to get what I want. I have my consistent, genuine relationship with God, and in turn, things attract to me, right? I don't know, somebody caught that, and I'm glad that you did. A lot of people might not have. So yeah, you guys, that's where I'm at, and I know that I've said this in many different variations on my channel, but you might be jobless, but you are not directionless. You are not without purpose. You are not without passion, and you are definitely not without value. If you're watching this, I think there's a big possibility that you're in a position like me. I think it's important for us to take situations like this, and if you're Christian, find Christ in the chaos, and if you're not, being able to find gratitude, seeking acceptance for change, and affirming yourself that your value is not intertwined with your job. No job has the ability to take your value from you. No job is all that you are, and a job is definitely not the end of your story, period. So I'll be taking these next few weeks or however long it takes to realign with myself and get back to doing what truly matters to me. And I think that if you're in the same situation, you should be doing the same. I know that there's the urge to be petty, to be vengeful and get it back in blood, but let's get it back in love, okay? Let's get it back in gratitude. Let's get it back with putting our eyes solely on God, having faith. I'm really gonna be using this time to honor myself, to take care of myself, getting back to the things that I enjoy doing that I haven't been making time to do. And the biggest thing is I'm gonna be making sure I'm not coming from a place of desperation. I'm gonna re-heal my nervous system and making sure that I know that I'm safe, I am okay, I'm overjoyed, I am abundant, and I am fulfilled. Me and you are not moving from a place of having to be desperate and just take opportunities because I feel like I'm not gonna get anything else. You are abundant, and the things that God has in store for you, you couldn't even imagine. So how dare you make yourself small by trading in your purpose for a paycheck, grasping onto pennies. Girl, let it go. Let it go. You should have been quit that job, and you know that. You know that. So quit before you get fired, babe. Actually, if you get fired, you could cash in that severance check. Hey, I am not a lawyer. So as the beautiful Jasmine Maine said, stop looking for the light at the end of the tunnel and find God in the darkness. I love you so much, Blossoms, more than you could ever know. I pray that you are flourishing, blossoming, coming home to yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Summer's just begun. Yeah. Girl, I ain't got no job. I'm out the fuck side. Come on now, stand up. Stand up! And for a brighter day. Yes, God. Come on, when was the last time I got in front of this camera, babe?